this is perhaps going to throw up some more controversy because without preempting how this case might end, should the two Supreme Court justices vacate their seat at some point because of whatever end, I'm just saying speculations, that means that the Supreme Court, the bench, will be losing two major position and seats there. And today, both the chairman and the deputy at the NJC were absent, and that's why they had to go for the man who chaired the sitting today. What do you make of that scenario playing out?
Well, I don't want to jump the gun yet because really there's some evidence in the public domain about the allegations against the or not yet, but we don't know what the petition against Justice Tanko is. And so one can't really begin to make some speculations as to the possible outcome of what will happen. And we know possibly part of the reason is the thinking generally, within the hierarchy that if there's a problem, people should not jump into taking positions immediately. But again, the arguments can go back and forth, whether it is right to leave a gap for that office, or the exigency in what sometimes we call necessity, that somebody can actually step in and anchor the position while all this crisis is being sorted out.
As it stands, quickly before we go on our first break on the program, with what it stands right now, if the NJC resumes, what would you suggest? Because the structure of the NJC in terms of the hierarchy is not maintained, is not there right now. What would you suggest for it to get a balance?
Well, the starting point is for them to look at the justice of the petitions. If somebody is found really seriously morally wanting, they may advise that, look, these offices are not just about knowledge, but it's about the character, because there's no way you can be in that kind of position simply on the basis of, okay, seniority or whatever it is. It's a huge moral position. So a person occupying that position must not have that burden. And in order to really justify, the confidence of the public in it. And so overall, it depends on issues of guilt. Okay.
Prof, I'll pause you for a moment. I'll get your final thoughts on this, on the implication for Nigeria's election, which is just knocking, is around the corner. And we will also touch on the issues of the Corruption Perception Index. A new report has come up. Are we faring better? What are the details? We'll get some expert opinion on this when we return. Stay with us, everyone. Everyone for staying with us. We'll switch gears a bit for a moment on the program, talk about the latest Corruption Perception Index report. Nigeria has improved on the Transparency International Corruption Perception Index, CPI, for 2018. The Global Anti-Corruption Agency revealed in its latest report, Nigeria moved up 4 places and was ranked 144 out of the 180 countries that were surveyed last year. This translates to an upward movement compared to the 148 the nation was ranked in 2017. Despite the improvement, Nigeria's state score remained the same for the 2 years at 27 over 100. It scored 28 over 100 and was ranked 136th in 2016. Nigeria shares its new position with 4 other countries: Kenya, Mauritania, Guatemala, and Comoros. Let's get talking and see how Professor Tahir Mahman, who's been talking to us on the Justice Water Onogan saga, and now have joining us Mr. Okeke Anya, a representative of the Transparency International in Nigeria and a member of the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC. Thank you so much, Mr. Okeke, for joining us. Prof, quickly, let me before we move into the Transparency International story, as it stands right now, are we in a bad place in terms of what we've seen in the past few days, the reaction that we've seen from the judiciary, the NBA and other sector? How bad did that tear the judiciary sector?
We are truly in a very bad shape because the judiciary is supposed to be the last hope of, as we always say, the common man is the last bus stop when there's a controversy in the country between citizens and everybody. So if that institution is in trouble, we are deeply in trouble, deeply in trouble.
All right.
And as I have said many times, it has been destabilizing actual force, even in the polity. Generally, when politicians are unable to put their acts together with all these fight-to-finish syndrome, they always run to the judiciary, to get redress. And that had somehow come to the country.
Prof, let's quickly go to Mr. Anya, because that's another very important aspect of our life. Corruption, very critical. The Transparency International, I'm very sure that you were part of that report. But the report is still saying that despite the fact that we moved 4 places, things have not changed. Is that what the report is saying?
Exactly. What has happened is that in 2017, Nigeria scored 27 points over 100. And in 2018, Nigeria still scored 27 points over 100. Now, what would have accounted for the probably upward movement is that some countries did badly, more than Nigeria did. Nigeria stagnated. Nigeria remained at the same point without moving. Because the most important thing is not necessarily on account of the position, but on account of the score that you have made.
The indices.
Yes, those aggregated data that shows that, for instance, a country like Seychelles had 66 points. A country like Ghana had 41 over 100. I mean, it's simple, maybe classroom exercise.
Over the last 3 years, nothing has changed. Is that what you're saying?
No. In 2015, Nigeria scored 28 points. But they have started, they have slided, and 2017 and 2018, they had the same score. So we cannot really see that as an improvement. But we have moved, yes, if you say in terms of position, not on account of our own performance, but on account of other people's bad performance. So it is not really like we have improved, because we are still scoring the same point.
I thought we have more time to talk about this, but quickly, Mr. Anya, tell us, what are the factors that is responsible for Nigeria's stagnation on that perception index?
Part of what TI has found out is that countries where the issues of political rights are not well, addressed, has this tendency of being corrupt. So I think Nigeria needs to look at deeply issues of rule of law, issues of political rights, and other issues. In 2017, part of the indices that the TI used was the relationship, how journalists report their stories. So, and found out that it also did not actually, favor the way we report. But we need to say that the issue of the data that are collected from several sources. You have the World Bank, you have the African Development Bank, you have the economic intelligence communities. So it is not as if maybe it is just a one source. Right. And these are also indices that are used for several other countries to arrive at the ranking.
So we're in one place. We have not gotten promotion.
Yes.
Like a child in school who is in one class and not
just like promotion. Maybe other students fell and were able
to stay in the same ladder.
Yes.
Well.
But you are not demoted.
What an interesting note to close the program. Professor Tahir Mamman, always a pleasure benefiting from your wealth of experience. Thank you for coming today. Mr. Anya of the Transparency International and Sisla, thank you so much for clearing the air on this report that has been given by Transparency International. But that's our show for tonight. Apologies that it does look like it's not my fault, it's time. It moves so fast. But that's how far we can go on the program, everyone. Till tomorrow, many thanks for watching and for watching. Bye-bye.